Good morning, everyone, and it's time for Reiki Talk. Welcome back. So we are today talking about the topic, do I need energetic protection if I give Reiki? And this is a very interesting question, I think, because people have a big variety of different opinions about it, but I think it's really much simpler than most of the discussion makes it out to be. The question of energetic protection, we should first talk about, good morning, we should first talk about what that means, and what would be a reason for needing energetic protection. So let's talk about that. It starts with how sensitive you are to other people's energy. Some people are very empathic, meaning that they can feel other people's emotions and often take that personally, meaning like they feel what other people feel and that becomes their feelings. It's very sensitive people, highly sensitive people need to be able to recognize that this is in their nature and to start to have systems to delineate what's theirs and what's other people's. And so that can be in itself something that needs attention, regardless of Reiki or not Reiki. So the basic nature of people and their energetic and emotional sensitivity is basically a really first a consideration having to do with whether a person needs energetic protection and what that means. Okay, so first we want to think about it in that way, like how sensitive are you to the energies and especially emotional energies around you? That's one thing. And what would that do to you if you were very sensitive? So the first thing is to understand yourself. How sensitive are you to other people's energies? And how does that affect you? Some people can recognize someone else's energy without taking it on, and that's fine. Other people take it on and become that, get upset if someone's upset, get angry if someone's angry, even if that person who's angry isn't angry at them. Okay, so that in itself is a condition in which a person should learn some energetic protection techniques. And I'll talk about what some good energetic protection techniques are in a few minutes. But first, I just want to talk about what it is that a person would need protection from and why. Now, sometimes, and in fact, quite often, what happens when a person starts working with Reiki or anything else that helps increase your intuition, okay, because Reiki is one method that can and usually will engage a person in becoming more intuitive. So you start practicing Reiki and you start paying attention to energy. And so as you pay attention to energy, your intuition gets stronger. And that's a wonderful thing. It is wonderful to have a strong intuition, to feel that connection between you and the world, you and other people, and to gain understandings that can help you, help others, and help you help yourself. All of that is terrific, and it can also, becoming more intuitive can open the doors to more opportunities to use your intuition, like card readings if you wanted to, or enhancing your own creativity. I mean, there's a myriad ways that being intuitively strong can improve your life, but it won't harm you. But you might need to learn to manage it. So what this brings me to is, as a person's intuition, good morning, new people who've joined me, thank you. As your intuition gets stronger through practicing Reiki in a mindful way, such as practical Reiki, which that's a whole part of the teaching, is to teach you how to mindfully practice and pay attention to your intuition, which then will cause your intuition to get stronger. So as your intuition gets stronger, you become more intuitively aware of the energies around you and potentially could become just like a person who's sensitive or empathic, vulnerable to taking on someone else's emotional energy, for one thing. And that's a situation you want to avoid, making other people's feelings your own, even, of course, not meaning to, but just becoming sensitive in a way that this happens to you. You don't need that to happen to you. So you can control it. And in that way, we would be looking for energetic protection techniques. We would be looking to employ some to avoid having this vulnerability in a way, or just feeling like you can't help it because you just all of a sudden become overly sensitive other people's energy, and it just changes your day and it changes your mood, and what do I do now? I don't like it. Don't worry, there are ways to understand and to control that from happening. So I'm going to talk about what those are, but a fallacy that's out there before I start with how to protect your energy is that it's dangerous to do energy healing because you put yourself in a vulnerable situation. It is not dangerous. And some people say, well, you're going to take on someone else's issues. Someone comes to see you and they've got grief and they've got depression and they've got anxiety, or they've got this, that, and the other thing. You're going to catch it. It's going to become yours. That's not true. You might, however, as I said, become more vulnerable to being so sensitive to other people's stuff that you take it, or you accidentally think it's yours. And if your mind thinks it's yours, it will become yours. And we don't want that to happen. Not that you're catching it from someone, but that your intuition has gotten so strong that you're feeling it in a way that it starts to feel like yours. This doesn't happen all the time, and this doesn't happen to everyone. Like I started out saying at the beginning of this, it's about your sensitivity level, and that's like a personal thing, and that can be, you can learn some things to do to adjust when our sensitivity level increases through mindful practice of any kind of intuitive thing, such as Reiki. Okay, it's always good to stop and breathe, right? I tend to just I got so much to say. Okay, so we're talking about, so is Reiki's not dangerous and cannot harm you as the practitioner? You are not putting yourself in harm's way or risk or something like that by giving Reiki, practicing Reiki for yourself or other people. Yes, definitely, Denise. That is a nice way to say that, and I'm going to give you some techniques to make that easier, and I'll even recommend a class if you are kind of person that really needs this because you're so empathic that your life is negatively affected by other people's energy becoming yours. So yes, Denise said, are you saying in a sense to learn to observe with detachment? Good morning. Yeah, to learn to observe with detachment is a very good technique. It's a very good thing to do, to understand what's yours and what's not yours. If you feel something suddenly that you don't have an explanation why, you could say to yourself, is this mine? And you can say, no, this is not mine. And then it is not yours. Easy. Or to observe with detachment, definitely, because there's no reason to observe with attachment. Let me see what this is so I can take it. No, not necessary, unhealthy. Let's talk about 3 ways to protect your energy. Very practical, very simple. Okay, it's not, you don't have to do a whole complex thing. I don't believe in making things complicated if they don't have to be. Number 1 is ground. Grounding your energy is like putting your hand in a glove. In the sense that your fingers each go into their own little compartments and your hand is in there. No one else can really get their hand in there if your hand is in there fully. There's nothing else that can get in, and it's just there's no room. Your glove, it's a glove, and it's on nice and tight and comfortable. If, however, you put your hand in and your little pinky is down here and the little pinky finger of the glove is just flapping around, then there's room in here for something else. And that something else could be someone else's emotion, some other energy that's not yours. You are vulnerable. You are ungrounded. But grounding is like sticking your fingers all where they belong. And we're talking about your entire energy system now, but this was just a metaphor, not about a glove. Okay, I'm talking about filling up your energy space fully. And thus, you are not leaving room for other stuff, which is great because you're present, you're collected, and you are not vulnerable to picking up other people's stuff, but it doesn't mean you can't notice it. Okay, noticing is good, taking it is not. It's not necessary or helpful. So, grounding. So, how to ground? Again, it's easy. It's even deceptively easy because it sounds like a little kid thing. I'm going to pretend, but you know what? Pretending is not a little kid thing. Pretending, excuse me, somebody texting me. Why? What? Okay. Pretending is using your mind intentionally. It's intention. Okay, so let's just make that clear right from the get-go. But grounding is we're going to pretend to be a tree. We don't have to be like, I'm a tree, you know, like in the play. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm not kidding about, you don't have to make a big deal about it with like that, okay? You just, in your mind, you stand, and you can even do it sitting if it's all really happening in your mind-body connection, engage. But the easiest way to do it is go out and hug a tree. Personally, that's the best way to ground your energy, hands down. But if you don't really have the opportunity to run outside and hug a tree right now, you can do this. With your feet planted on the floor. Standing is probably better, but you can do this sitting. You take a nice deep breath, and you feel the floor or whatever is beneath your feet. Be firm in your connection. Think of yourself as a tree with roots growing down from the bottoms of your feet into the earth. Okay, so you're going to send those roots down. You're a tree. You have roots. Root deeply in the earth with your mind. You do this with your mind. Your mind knows what to do. Your body believes what your mind tells it. So, you send the roots down into the earth. Deep, deep, deep. Firm, firm, firm. And then you intend, imagine, picture, however you like to think about it, that your roots are absorbing earth energy, just like the tree roots absorb minerals and water. Exactly. Thank you, Heather. I love that. Imagining intentionally. Absorbing it into the roots, this earth energy, and bringing it back up the roots into the bottom of your feet, and trace it with your mind from your feet, your ankles, your calves. We're going all the way up. Knees, thighs, hips. Bring that energy up. Let it fill you all the way down to your hands, all the way back up. Then fill it all the way up. We're filling up our energetic space, okay? Fill it up with the earth energy. Then, off the top of your head, I suddenly got into a good light space here. Good, okay. Sorry, the light from outside is like messing with anyways. Good, all of a sudden I saw my face light up. I'm like, oh, that was a good timing. All right, from your head, reach up with your mind and absorb sunlight. Okay, so you're thinking of branches and leaves up here. Do you hear the barking? My chicken just laid an egg. Okay, you absorb the light down. Oh, that's cool. You absorb the light down into your head and bring it down to your heart. Oh, I'm going to do this again. Okay, you bring it to your heart. And so then you open your eyes. You can do this with your eyes out open too if you want to, but then you're done, basically. You have just connected everything. You've connected with the ground, and you've connected with cosmic energy, life force energy all around you. And boom, right here at the heart. And I'm going to keep my hands up then. You can see me better. And then you're connected, okay? You are grounded. So that's part one, ground. And it doesn't take long. It's not like it takes like 20 minutes to do it. You could probably do it in about 20 seconds. Maybe the first time or two. it'll take you a little longer just to get through it all. But eventually you just be like zoop, 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 like that. But you're filling up your space, okay? You're putting your hands in the glove, so to speak, your body in the glove, your energy. Okay, enough with that. Okay, so that's grounding. That's part one. You can do that before you give a Reiki session. You can do that at the end of a Reiki session. You can do it in the middle if you want to. You don't have to make a big deal about it or talk about it or anything. But it will very much help you. Also, anytime you feel mentally scattered, overwhelmed or anxious or anything like that, you can ground your energy and it will bring you clarity. It will bring you right back to the present moment and focused. So practice it a lot, especially if you're an energetically sensitive person. Practice grounding. Maybe if I tip this a little bit, that's better, right? Okay. Practice grounding often, because grounding will help you in many ways, and it's a practice that the more you do it, the more that you can delineate what's yours and what's not yours. So that's one, ground. The second step is cleanse. Cleanse means if you are in a place where you're vulnerable to other people's energy, or you feel like overwhelmed by that, because sometimes going into like crowds or something can be very off-putting to a sensitive person. So cleanse means you ground before you go in, and we'll talk about the third step also for that situation. But then at the end of the day, or the end of any kind of situation where you felt like you've been just around a lot of people or a lot of energy, cleanse. That means Reiki self-healing. That's a great thing to do. If you do Reiki, you should do self-healing every day. It will help your system stay healthy, get other stuff off you and that you don't need, and just helps to just clean up your space, okay? Another way to do cleanse is to take a bath with Epsom salts and shower off. That is also very cleansing and grounding because it's minerals. I mean, Epsom salts are magnesium that comes from the earth, and that in itself will ground and detox your energy. It's good stuff, and it works with your body too. It's very relaxing, good muscle relaxing. Just lots of good stuff from taking an Epsom salt bath. Not a long soak. We're talking about 15, 20 minutes, not super hot. We're talking like a little warmer than body temperature maybe. And then shower off. That's another cleansing technique. Other grounding things you can do and cleansing, drink plenty of water. That cleanses from the inside and the outside, because we're always interacting with water all the time through our sweat and digestive system and tears and all kinds of like ways that we're fully interacting with water all the time without even really thinking about it. So in and out, okay? So that's cleanse. Okay, so cleanse, self-healing, take up some salt bath, take a walk in the woods. It's awesome for grounding and cleansing, because you attune your energy to the energy of the earth by being surrounded by trees, which are huge and have very powerful grounding energy because they're alive and rooted in the earth. They're about the most grounded things on the planet. Okay, ground, cleanse. The third step to energetic protection is protect. So ground, cleanse, protect. 3 steps. How do you protect your energy? Again, we're going to use our minds here. There's many things that you can do as a visual kind of imagining kind of a thing. You can, my favorite actually is Shields Up. I think of Star Trek. I like Star Trek, but Next Generation's my favorite Star Trek. But whenever the Enterprise, the Starship Enterprise, is threatened by some kind of photon torpedo or whatever, the captain goes, shields up, and then bling, this like energetic shield appears. Well, it doesn't appear, just like happens around the ship. It's invisible and it's activated, and then like pew pew, nothing can harm it. Okay, the shield. So I like that image. I like this invisible shield. Gling, like I'm using like really bling, okay? Okay, so just think shields up. And and the intention is when I think shields up, an energy shield will go around my aura. And what this shield's doing is just only allowing what's for my highest and best to come in and nothing else. Only what's mine. You know, your intention is what makes this work. Okay, so I am intending that only, yes, gling, only what's mine comes in. Only what's for my highest and best comes in and nothing else. You can use shields up anytime. You can use it before you walk into your office, before you walk into the grocery store, before you walk into any kind of situation where you feel vulnerable in some way. Put it up, put on your mask, and right? Sorry, the grocery store. I was just, okay, distracted by that thought. Okay, so yes, you put up your shield. So ground, cleanse, protect, boom, you're done. Okay, other people use other kinds of images for a shield, a shell, or like an eggshell, or I just like this shield one. I like an energy shield. It just feels strong to me. But use what's good, what you think. Some people say, I'm going to protect myself with white light. I'm going to put a mirror thing around me. You know, okay, whatever. It's your mind, but it's really about intention. Intention is what makes it work. Intention makes everything we do intuitively work. Okay? Intention. That's key to so many things. So there it is, you know, and it doesn't have to, oh my gosh, no, I have a big complicated process. No, you don't. Okay? Ground, cleanse, protect. And you don't have to do all of them at once. Do them at different times. Like I mean, ground, yeah, I do that a lot. That's a good thing to do a lot during the day, before, after a Reiki session, before, after anything. When you're just feeling, just several times a day. Do it whenever you wash your hands. I mean, just pick a time that you're going to do it regularly. You will notice the difference in your mind, you know, your presence, and you will feel different. Take a walk in the woods anytime you can, because that's always really, really cleansing for the energy. So there's cleanse, Reiki self-healing, take a shower, take a bath, just even a shower. But what if you Reiki'd your shower head, or intended that water is charged with energy to help cleanse you? You can use your intention in that way too. Cleanse your energy when you've, you know, at least once a day. I like to do Reiki self-healing when I'm going to bed. But you can do it any time of day. It doesn't take long. A few minutes. It's not like an hour-long process. Unless you want it to be. And good for you, okay? You can, but you don't have to, okay? Remember, it's really up to you. And it's still going to work. Cleanse and protect. Shields up. This is what you do before you go into a situation where you might be vulnerable. So you can do shields up even before giving a Reiki session. It's not going to prevent the Reiki from working. It's just you are putting your mindset, your intention, on keeping your own energy separate. And so these are just some techniques to use when you become more energetically sensitive through the growth of your intuition, or just because you just might naturally be that way. And this can be helpful. Which brings me to the other thing that I want to recommend. If you are an energetically sensitive person, an empath who does find themselves affected by other people's energy to a more extreme level, we have a class that's being taught by Jennifer Martin. Jennifer is an empath. She was one of my first long-term students, and now she teaches for Reiki Awakening Academy. She is also a professional practicing psychic, and she's really cool. And she wrote a course called Solutions for Sensitives. This class has, I think, 7 parts, and you sign up, you can take them all. You do. They just are 1 week at a time, and she goes into detail of lots of helpful tips for people who are really sensitive to the point that it gets disturbing in their lives. She really, really knows how to help because she is that, and she knows what works. So Solutions for Sensitives you can find on the Reiki Awakening Academy website. Look for, I think it's under certificate programs, but you can also find it on the calendar of upcoming classes. And, you know, you sign up, and if you can't make every single one of the classes, you can get a recording. But best if you can be there, because she works with you personally. And it's a really, really good class. Really, it's a course, and it will change your life. It will really empower you. So the 3 things that I recommend, ground, cleanse, and protect, are for many of us. But for those of us who, or you, not me, because I'm not an empath. I'm just sensitive, but the ground, cleanse, protect works fine for me. But if you find you need something more, and many people do, you know, some too many, I guess, find that they are really, really affected by other people's energy, then try the Solutions for Sensitives course, because it's really good. And so you can at least check it out and read about everything that she's offering. And she's terrific. So, any questions about anything that I have said so far about Reiki and energetic protection? I still hear my chicken balking too. She's doing her egg song. I laid an egg. They get very excited. So, does anyone have any questions or anything or any comments before I end this broadcast for today? It will be up for you to watch in the future too, if you want to rewatch it, or you know, anybody who didn't make the live and you want to catch it later, if you're watching the replay, you know, hello, and I hope that you find this useful. Feel free at any time to leave me a comment. I will respond. I do enjoy hearing from you. And this is the last of 10 lives that I've put out here. 10 weeks. I've just achieved my 10th week of going live for Reiki Talk. And if you want, suggest some other topics if you would like me to keep doing these. I would be happy to address them. Okay, well, I hope that you've enjoyed this. Feel free to give me thumbs up or anything like that if you have. And I will see you again soon. Okay, take care and stay well.